We got more football to break down. Day 2 of minicamp breakdown continues today right here on this episode of NewOrleans.Football presented by PJ's Coffee. And if you're signed up to the website, you're probably watching this right now because you can watch it right now. All live tapings go on there first. We're going to run that protocol all through the season. Post-game shows are going to be on the website, and then they're going to go out to everybody else the next day. If you aren't signed up, just sign up. You're missing out. You can get the best Saints coverage that you can find, all of our news, our analysis, everything I write, everything Mike writes, everything Brandon writes. It's all right there on the website. Use the code NOF, save 20% on your first payment. As I said, welcome back to another episode of NewOrleans.Football presented by PJ's Coffee. We're coming to you from our studio on Veterans Memorial Boulevard, right next to my guy, Matt Powers. So if you're in a market for a car, stop by that dealership, buy one, look up at the sign, take a picture. We'll be up here certain nights doing our thing. But make sure you buy your car from Matt Powers at one of his many dealerships all throughout the region. Best cars, best customer service, best prices, best car buying experience that you can find. Make sure you check out Matt for your new or pre-owned car needs. We're going to break down this practice. We're going to tell you everything we've seen today. We're going to talk about all the stuff we're going to see tomorrow. And again, if you aren't signed up for the site, do it. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, exclusively for NOF subscribers. All right, hit the ads. The New Orleans.Football show is proudly presented by PJ's Coffee. PJ's Coffee has some of the best drinks that you can find. They have locations all over the city. They have pastries and everything else you need to get your day started. So go check them out. This Father's Day, show your dad you appreciate his unique style with the Breitling watch from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. Make sure you're ready for the day. Father's Day is June 16th. And if not, maybe you just want to treat yourself. Smash that presentation, nail that deal, achieve that goal. Get yourself a Breitling watch from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, 7713 Maple Street, between Adams and Burdett, Uptown, 504-866-5433, or visit them at friendandcompany.com. Looking for the best insurance coverage at the lowest price? Look no further than Chabert Insurance, the Earhart Agency. They are a local independent insurance agency right here in New Orleans, specializing in home, flood, and auto insurance. Their agents are born and raised in the area and understand our community's unique needs and the homeowners insurance crisis our residents are currently in. At Chabert Insurance, the Earhart Agency, their dedicated team will shop every available carrier in the market, ensuring you get the most comprehensive coverage at the lowest possible price. They know your time is valuable, which is why they work diligently to provide you with the quotes as soon as possible. Why settle for less when you can have the best? Trust Chabert Insurance, the Earhart Agency, to protect what matters most to you. I do. I've been a client of theirs since 2021. When we couldn't find someone to insure our house because of the big oak tree growing over top, Chabert worked until they found someone that would work with us and give us the protection that we need to feel safe in our new home. Call them today at 504-326-6526 or visit them online at Protected by Chabert. That's 504-326-6526. Chabert Insurance, the Earhart Agency, your local insurance experts. Hardhide Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey is an 86 proof blend of aged wheat bourbon, American light whiskey, and fresh Ponchatoula strawberries. Blended in New Orleans, it is not for the thin-skinned. Look for it in your favorite stores, bars, and restaurants. NewOrleans.Football is proud to be sponsored by Firehouse Subs. Make sure you check out their location on Veterans Boulevard. All right, let's get into the show. I'm Nick Underhill, joined by Mike Triplett and Brandon Thomas. Make sure you stick around after the show for overtime. We already got 30 questions in there. We're going to have to probably cap that, I think. I don't know if we can do 3 hours of overtime.
We
got to get
picked
back
the
out to
best
practice tomorrow.
questions, so make them good.
Yeah, I'll skip them.
I mean, look, we'll hit them. We'll hit a lot of them. Arjun, man, we appreciate you. You got to chill a little bit on this one. Save your ammo for tomorrow.
He has one in there right now.
And we're gonna pre-record a couple shows, put them in the tuck. So yeah, we'll do about 15 of them, and then we'll save the other half and do them on some of the shows we're gonna pre-record as we take a little vacation in July. But we'll still have all your writing on the site, all your podcasts, everything you need is gonna be there. All right. It's time for the lead presented by Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. Friend & Company Fine Jewelers is the official jeweler of the New Orleans Saints. Friend & Company Fine Jewelers should also be your official home of Father's Day, which is this Sunday. Go out there, get your dad a watch, a Breitling watch. They're beautiful. Get yourself one. And if you got, extra money to spare, you're looking for something for your special lady, check out their Fleur de Lis earrings and necklace that you now see on your screen. The earrings are priced at $1,100, and that necklace is beautiful, so make sure you grab it and get ready for the season.
Yep. Lead topic. What's working for Derek Carr in the new Saints offense? It's day 2, and he's continued to look good throughout his time out there during the spring practices and OTAs and in minicamp. Yesterday, you even said he was a candidate to be the MVP of the spring practices. So what's working with Derek Carr? What does he look like?
He looks good. And I mean, look, the thing is he should look good right now. There's no pass rush or really anything, that nothing is there. Like he should be killing it, but it's a new system. And I think it's fair to say that the new system is kind of playing to his strengths. Like I think it's conducive to his strengths. I think there's a reason they targeted this offensive system. I mean, obviously the offensive system works really well, but I think this type of offense makes and helps quarterbacks perform well. I mean, it would be nuts if he didn't look good. I tweeted today that he's having a great summer. Like he is. Like I'm sorry to say it, like he is. He's completed probably 85% of his passes. He had 2 incompletions today. They were both drops. Like he looks good right now. The timing of this stuff is really on point. And look, he's a smart guy. Like in this offense, like gives you answers pre-snap. Like motion is going to give you answers pre-snap. You're not going to see a lot of consistent pressure in this offense because of the run game mix and the play action and all that stuff. So, like, there are a lot of things that I think are going to translate into the season, but you see this offense elevate quarterbacks, and I think there's a little bit of like, hey, look, he's really on time, he looks really sharp. Like, man, this skinny post, like he just keeps hitting it over and over and over. Like, there's a lot of things that just kind of look good for his game. Doesn't mean that he's going to be the NFL MVP because he's the camp MVP. No, like it doesn't. But it's so far so good. I mean, the things that happen in the summer.
Wait a minute, he's not going to automatically win NFL MVP because he's Saints minicamp OTA MVP?
Yeah.
I thought there was a correlation.
Like, you know what I mean? Like summer doesn't always define fall, but summer always comes before fall. And all you can do is talk about the summer when it's the summer. You can't talk about the fall when it's the summer because it's not the fall. So all we can do is talk about what's happening in the summer. Hopefully the summer does define the fall, but in the right way. Hopefully summer doesn't define a like literal fall going into fall. But
you can't say what the album's going to be off of one single. You got to wait for Thursday to come and listen to it.
Yeah, but I think he's looked really good so far, and I think it's a system speaks to his strengths.
Yeah, look, the thing I thought that I still think I'm going to like most about this system for Derek Carr is the play action. Fixing the run game and making it be an effective run game, and then B, working the play action off that. But my favorite thing that I've seen so far this summer is something you wrote about early on. It's quick game. It's a quick passing game. I mean, the 2-minute drill that they did at the end of practice today, which I think was his highlight of the spring so far.
Today's practice?
Yep. Where he got them down quick for a touchdown, and he threw the touchdown to Alvin Kamara, then the 2-point conversion to Rashid Shaheed. It was just a smooth drive by the offense. Mm-hmm. But here I am charting the plays. Quick pass 2, quick pass 2, most of them were to Taysom Hill. But quick pass 2, quick pass 2, quick pass 2. It looks like the defense is playing half speed when you play that way. Like, they're not trying to tackle, but they're also like allowing them to complete the passes. That's not the idea, but that's just what a quick passing game looks like. I mean, how many times have we heard Cam Jordan more than anyone, but the defense talk about over the years? Oh, Matt Ryan gets rid of the ball quick, or this guy gets rid of the ball quick. That's why we're not getting any sacks. It's like yet another thing where it's like it's too simple. It's too simple to ignore. Of course that works. He like you said, he's seeing the picture before he takes a snap. It's like 3 steps and throw, and it's why he's completing like 85% of his passes. I love the efficiency of it. It's hard to ignore how well that could work for him.
Yeah, like Ryan, they do their podcast. He tweeted on today, show me in the season. Like, yeah, definitely. Like, show it in the season. Like, absolutely. That's when it matters. Like, none of this defines anything at this point. And I agree with that totally. Like, I'm not changing my projection on Derek Carr because he's looked good in 5 practices. Right. Like, no doubt about it. But he's looked good in the 5 practices. And that's all it means at this point. But yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Like, and I think that's kind of globally with the Saints overall. Like, things are going to happen, and this is the time of year where like you start seeing things, and it's like, oh, this feels more and more possible, and it's kind of easy to get kind of stuck in that. And I think that there's even a guardedness probably on this set. Like I know specifically for myself, like I'm kind of like, all right, like I bought in last year, like I'm not doing it again. So
can't be burned.
I mean, I agree. I agree with that sentiment 100%. Show me, like you do. I want to see it. Like I absolutely.
We got burned last summer, and look, I will say, I like what I've seen. I mostly like what I've heard about this offense. I like how they describe it. I like how the players say why it works for them. Top to bottom, Carr, Eric McCoy on the offensive line, Jamal Williams at running back. Like everyone says they like the concepts of this offense, but and this is only OTAs and minicamp. I feel like even at this point last year, I was even higher on him. There were times in training camp last year I was really high on this offense, and they did not translate that to the season. So that is absolutely true. I was even higher on him last summer than what I've seen.
He did get hurt. I do wonder what it would look like if he hadn't gotten hurt. But I think the end of the season we started to see it a little bit. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to weigh all of it. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely a level of like that you need to be cautious, no doubt about it. And yeah, I think like the Juwan, you mentioned it yesterday. The Juwan Derek connection was something that like I definitely got
undeniable.
Yeah,
it was every day.
Yeah, and he's not. We haven't even really seen that yet. He's injured right now, so he isn't practicing. So that's I don't know. I mean, that was something we definitely got fooled on though last year. So just even one specific thing, and then it looked like there was it looked like there was chemistry with other players, and then they got into the season and like the chemistry evaporated for a while, and then it kind of came back. So there's definitely an element of like there can be absolutely be fool's gold this time of year, but he looks good. There's no other way to say it.
When I was writing in my notes today, the one thing that just stood out when going on about Derek Carr is spinning it. Like he was slinging it down there. But let's stick with the quarterbacks in our next segment presented by Hard High Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey. Spencer Rattler was running the twos today. He threw an interception. It was kind of like a welcome to the NFL moment because he threw it on lat. But Jake Haener also threw an interception too in 7-on-7. So is the gap kind of closing a little bit on the backup position?
Yeah, it's funny. Marshawn Lattimore and Paulson Adebo come onto the field to play a little with the twos. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Spencer Rattler. But I think that's good for Spencer Rattler. I mean, when he's running with the threes, he's getting good work in and he's learning this offense, but he's not going against guys who are going to be playing in the NFL. He got to go against Marshawn Lattimore and Paulson Adebo. What was interesting to me is I had maybe wrongly thought that Haener was always going second and Rattler was always going third. But since we're now stringing practices together and seeing two in a row, we realized they have been rotating. And on the days we would go out and watch an OTA, the next day Rattler would be with the twos. And Dennis Allen said, I expect this competition to go all summer long. So that is very much being treated as they're on an even playing level. So now we have said we think Haener looks like he's ahead to what we've seen so far, but they're not treating it like Rattler has to overcome something. They're treating it like they are starting at the same level. And I thought this was a day that, it's such a small sample size. They did a lot of run plays. I think the one set of team drills that Rattler did, he only attempted 2 total passes or whatever. So it wasn't like a complete practice, but he looked pretty good in 7-on-7s today. Haener had his worst throw that we've seen all spring, where he got to his, I think, third read in the progression, and he telegraphed where it was going so bad that he threw the interception to safety, Millard Bradford, who's been all over it this summer.
3 picks.
But yeah, look, I mean, it's close enough that it's going to come down to preseason games, joint practices against the 49ers. They're treating it like an open competition.
Yeah. So, I'm not ready to move him though. I think we've seen a lot of good practices from Haener.
I have Haener ahead.
Yeah, he's definitely ahead. Rattler was perfect today in 7-on-7, so that it was a nice session for him. Yeah, but I've been consistently impressed by Haener. Now, I'm not saying that can't change. I'm just saying right now today, but they're going to go away. They're going to practice, and Rattler's going to know everything that bothered him in these practices, everything that he came in and was like, okay, like this could have been better, this could have been sharper. He's going to be able to go away for a month. He's going to be able to come back and see how he's addressed those things. And whatever gap there is, like I expect it to probably close a little bit. And there's definitely a reality where Rattler could end up beating them out. But to this point, I mean, Jake Haener he's held his own, man. He's looked good. And, I like what we've seen from him so far.
Yeah, and one practice session doesn't make me take back. We were here 24 hours ago saying Haener's most improved and a candidate for spring MVP. I'm just the thing that opened my eyes is a little more is just how it felt like that every OTA we saw, it was Haener with the twos, Rattler with the threes. It felt like a hierarchy. And just seeing that they've been taking turns and hearing the way Dennis Allen described it made it feel more of a two guys on an even playing field.
Agreed.
From that standpoint.
Yeah.
But performance from what we've seen, Hainer definitely looks like the guy to beat.
You got a chance to talk to Hainer in the locker room today.
Rattler.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Rattler. You got a chance to talk to Rattler in the locker room today. Like, what are some things that kind of stood out about his progression?
He was saying
so
all
far?
the right talking points. I think Kubiak was in his ear, and he was just, or Janoko was in his ear. He was even wearing the "Listen to Your Feet" hat, which is hilarious. Saying, we're going to get better one day at a time. We're chasing perfection. The other day we did something really well, but we didn't do this part of it right, so we're chasing perfection. He's saying all the right things. But look, he's bought into it. He's taken the right approach. He doesn't think he's arrived yet. And he's a competitor. I think they're both competitors. I mean, Nick talked to Jake Hainer earlier this summer, even before they drafted Rattler. We talked to him again after. He said, "Bring it on! Like, go ahead, try to beat me out. I'm not giving this job up." So, two real competitors there, and it is. I mean, we talked about this when we were saying we like the makeup of the quarterback room. It's I kind of like, as opposed to, hey, Chase Daniel's the backup, hey, Luke McCown's the backup. No, it's two young guys that we like. We're as excited to watch the second and the third string go out there in team drills as we are with the ones. It's given some juice to these practices, I think.
Juice is always welcome. Juice is always welcome. Up next, we have the money segment presented by Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union. Let's hit the rest of the practice. Who else was money at today's practice?
You start, man. Your guy.
Miller Bradford. Miller Bradford. I found him, like, as soon as we hit the locker room, I tried to find him to talk to him. And I was like, hey, man, you got 3. You're starting to move out of that range of being just like, oh, the UDFA, oh, number 38. People are knowing your name, Miller Bradford. You've made a name out here kind of getting interceptions and being a ball hawk. So I just got a chance to talk to him, and he was telling me, like, the big thing is just continue to follow your coaching, continue to follow what the older players are saying, just follow in their footsteps and try to do the right things, be on your assignment and everything like that. I go a little bit deeper in the hurry up, but, like, he really is just falling into that role of being a safety who latches onto the ball.
Yeah. I mean, look, that's a good position to be in, and it's a spot where there's open competition.
It's a good position to be in, and it's a good position to be at.
Yeah. Like, he's doing what he needs to do. He's making a name for himself early on, and that's really all you can do. I mean, there's a lot you have to do to keep that going throughout the summer, but he's off to a great start right now. For me, the one thing that just keeps standing out is that we keep seeing Taysom Hill's role just kind of grow and evolve and get defined, and him coming out of the backfield, catching passes. Looks like he can kind of be a weapon there. Just how they continue to use him. We were doing the over-under on yards yesterday, 692. Like, I don't know, we go out there, and then you see him catch 3 in a row out of the backfield, and it's like, well, shoot, he's really never done this before. Right. And then it's kind of like he gets the ball there. If he has, the opportunity to turn and run in space, like that guy, you give him a little bit of room to get a full head of steam. Like, I think he's going to break some little backfield option routes, like choice routes. I think he's going to take some to the house this year because I think he's just that kind of player, and I think this offense kind of designs things like that. So I'm it's catching my eye.
Yeah, how can Taysom Hill not be catching your eye? Another pass catcher who caught my eye today, and we're going to talk about him a little bit more later, but Equanimous St.Brown, 2 days in a row he's made some plays. He made the catch of the day today. Mm-hmm. It was a good pass by, was it I had it right in front of me. Was it Nate Peterman that threw the pass, I think? It was a pretty good pass, but it was the separation that Equanimous St.Brown created at the last moment. It was against Paulson Adebo, and Paulson Adebo had decent coverage on it, and St. Brown, as a 6'5" receiver, used his body to kind of like slow up at the last second so that he was shielding Adebo from being able to make a play on it and got himself open for it. And it was really impressive. He's done some good things, although so has Cedric Wilson too for me lately. Another guy who I was trying to watch, and then you were over at another point of the field and you were doing the same thing, is Tali Fuaga. What do you think about him today?
He just moves well. He really does. He moves well. When they're running the ball, they were doing a lot of running stuff in the one team period, and he just kind of gets out and he leads the way, and it doesn't look like he's missing his marks. He's kind of he's hitting the guys he's supposed to be. Well, not hitting, but like putting his body in between the guys that he's supposed to. They aren't hitting right now, but he's in the right spot to make the plays. Whereas sometimes when you're watching on the other side, like Penning's out there, but then it feels like there's somebody coming through where he's supposed to be, and he kind of misses his landmarks a little bit sometimes. So I think there's a difference there. When he drops, like, it just really looks kind of, fluid, just kind of how he gets into his set and everything. Like, he just moves well. He looks like a good athlete. it's it's hard to say because on the other side they missed on a first round pick in the same range, but like it's just hard to imagine that Fuaga isn't going to be solid at least at worst.
No, you wrote it the right way too, which is 2 days in a row. I'm really made a point of watching Fuaga. I'd say, I don't know. I mean, how many? Maybe 12 snaps, maybe 15 snaps where I was like, I am watching Fuaga in the snap. I watch him a lot in individual drills. You really can't learn anything on that. And sometimes they're going so half speed, they're actually holding up the defensive player. Like, all right, you're good, you're good. But what you would notice is if a guy was screwing up, and I didn't see once where I thought Fuaga screwed up in any of those snaps.
I saw a couple on Penning. I thought,
I mean,
nothing on Fuaga.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So. Which doesn't mean Penning's having a terrible. Actually, I watched a lot of Penning today too, especially in that last series where we were positioned right next to the right tackle. I got to see him on every snap, and I didn't see one bad snap from him in that one, and that was in the 2-minute hurry up too. So, but look, the other thing I noticed is again with those quick passes. Another good way to protect your offensive tackles is to be throwing the ball quickly. Yeah. There's no time for him to get in trouble.
Another name that we'd be remiss not to say is Pete Werner. He had another good day. He's been stacking them. So we'll see how that
battle. I'll be writing about him tomorrow. And Brandon referenced his hurry-up drill where he talked to Millard Bradford today, among other things. So make sure you check that out on the website.
Yep. Keep it locked to NewOrleans.Football. We're going to hit a quick break. We'll continue our minicamp coverage, and then we'll get into our Martin's question of the day. Keep it locked to NewOrleans.Football.
Total Maintenance is one of the largest locally owned home and commercial service providers in South Louisiana. They were founded in 1980 and serve the greater New Orleans and Baton Rouge markets. And Total Maintenance wants to show some love to our NOF listeners. They have a membership program that gets you 2 tune-up visits for AC and heating, as well as club membership discounts of 15% on all repairs, half off of all diagnostic charges, and 3-year warranties on most repairs for membership clients. This is usually priced at the low price of $24.95 a month per system, but if you tell Total Maintenance that you found them through NOF, they'll lower the price to $20.95 per month per system for as long as you keep the membership active. It will never increase. Total Maintenance has a tune-up special running this summer for $79, down from the normal price of $179. This is a one-time offer for one system only. They also offer a free diagnostic on second opinions on units deemed to be unrepairable, and they offer free estimates for replacements as well as commercial maintenance programs. Services include AC and heating service and replacement, electrical service, plumbing service, as well as generator service and installation. They are Total Maintenance. Find them at tm-ac.com or give them a call at 504-841-3300, or if you're in the Baton Rouge area, 225-480-1000.
Are you tired of renting and ready to own your dream home? Contact Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union, your trusted source for home loans. Our competitive rates and flexible terms can help make your home ownership dreams a reality. If you're a first-time home buyer or looking to refinance, our experienced lenders are here to help. Our online application process allows you to apply on your schedule. It's quick, easy, and convenient. Visit us online at jeffersonfinancial.org to learn more. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Martin Wine and Spirits is home to a selection of hand-picked barrel select bourbon, whiskeys, and much, much more. They are family owned and operated since 1946 and specialize in wine, spirits, gourmet food, gift baskets, catering, and tasting events. They have many locations, so they're never too far away. You can check them out in Metairie, New Orleans, Mandeville, and Baton Rouge, or if it's more convenient, you can always shop online. Whether you're a wine novice or a seasoned collector, you'll enjoy the Martin Wine and Spirit experience.
Welcome back to our studio on Veterans Memorial Boulevard. It is now time for our next segment presented by Chabert Insurance, the Earhart Agency. We just mentioned Equanimous St.Brown and how he had a spectacular day today, but is he a dark horse to make the receiver list? Or is it written in pen that Olave, Shaheed, Cedric Wilson, Bub Means, those names
A.T. Perry.
A.T. Perry are written in pen. Is that a given thing, or can St. Brown shake it up?
Look, it's St. Brown's making a case. Like he's made some plays the last couple of days. He's standing out a little bit more than some of the other guys at that position. And if you're talking kind of like just zero pedigree blank slate, like I think that he's looked better than some of the other guys on the team. I mean, so I don't think it's written in stone. I think it would be hard though. I think it will be hard for him to make the team. If he makes the team, he'll have to be doing something else, where it means that Bub Means just really hasn't done enough to kind of warrant keeping a roster spot, and you're willing to take the risk to expose him to the practice squad. I mean, he's a day 3 pick, so nothing's guaranteed at all in that range, especially in a position where they're kind of weak. And one of the things that St. Brown's been doing, it feels like he's been making contested catches, and I'm putting that in air quotes because there's no contact. So how contested are they really? But he's making catches in traffic. He's making some difficult plays. He had a nice one-hander today on Paulson Adebo from Hainer.
It was from Peterman.
Peterman. Oh yeah, Peterman came out and threw like one pass.
That was one of his. that was one of his handful.
Yeah, it was a great pass too. Like it really was.
Yeah.
But he made an amazing play on it. But yeah, I think the door's open for someone at wide receiver. It's tough. Like it's you kind of gotta hit it with some force. Whereas I feel like some other places, like the door's open and it's like, come on in. Like you kind of got to know where you're going and get them to open the door for you.
Which is funny because
use the password, get in. But that's kind of what you got to do. You got to know your way in, but you can find your way in if you know how to get there.
It's funny because we're talking about their wide receiver depth. There's a bit of
that?
What's that?
I did.
Anyone get that?
I got it. Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling.
I was so busy interrupting you. I didn't.
Nah, keep it rolling. Keep it rolling.
What's the reference?
Keep it rolling, Mike.
We got it. He was pretending to know it, but
nah. I know what it is. Keep it going.
Some secret password. I got it. I'll listen back to the show later and I'll text you.
I thought you'd get it. I
wasn't listening.
All right.
I was too busy trying to interrupt you. But it's funny that you were talking about the receiver room that way because this is the one where we're like, yeah, they need another guy. They need another guy. Where's Hunter Renfrow? When are they going to sign him? But I also think it's hard to penetrate. Like, I mean, we're all going to do our 53-man roster projections, and we're all going to put A.T. Perry on it. We're all going to put Cedric Wilson on it. And I think Bud Means is the way in. I don't think Bud Means would get cut and not make the 53-man roster, but they often have the red shirt. I mean, Nick Saldivari last year makes the 53-man healthy and active every single week. There's that guy every year, and that could be the path for Bud Means if somebody like Equanimous St. Brown just runs past him. And I mean, St. Brown was playing Andrew Janocko was not his position coach. He was not the offensive coordinator. He was a quarterback's coach for Chicago. But St. Brown, just as recently as 2 years ago, was playing 76% of the offensive snaps, 86%, 95% of the offensive snaps, 70%, like 62%. Not as a huge pass catcher. He only had one touchdown that season, but as one of those guys, we were talking about Brandon Coleman earlier today, or, one of those guys that earns their way on the roster because they're physical, because they block with it. So he's the one who's caught my eye. I mean, I think it's going to be even harder for the Mason Tipton, the Jermaine Jackson, the Kyle Sheets, the undrafted rookies. Stanley Morgan Jr. has a chance, maybe, I guess, based on what he's always been a core special teams player, but he'd be making the team on special teams, not as a receiver, I think. So
I got Tipton ahead of the others mentioned by you right there.
Yeah.
I think he's
and what about versus St. Brown?
I got St. Brown ahead of him, but then
too.
just in that group you were kind of talking about there about like Jermaine, Sheets, some of those other guys. Like I got Tipton ahead of all of them.
That's fair, but I think there's a path. If you beat out Bud Means and you turn him into a redshirt freshman, I think that's your path to the roster.
To get in that door, he's gonna have to take that screwdriver and jam it in there because it's not a clear way to get in. But I think with his work ethic and like just the backstory behind St. Brown and how like his family is built on just working your way to a certain place, I think there's a way.
He's got real NFL credentials too. He really does. He's been around for a while.
Yep.
Ace Ventura, by the way. Ace Ventura. Yeah.
Brandon just went with, here's how you break into a house.
No. I didn't know what his name was. I knew it was the pet dude. Like, it was the same dude from The Mask. I didn't know what his name was.
All right, man. Let's just move it on. The pet dude. Come on, man.
I'm 23. I don't know. It is now time for our next segment presented by Martin. It's now time for our Martin Wine and Spirits question of the day. Martin's is home to a wide selection of hand-picked barrel select bourbon, whiskeys, and more. Martin's, so much more than just wine.
Presented by the wine dude.
The wine dudes. The wine and others, and more. The sandwich people. We had a good sandwich the other day.
Sandwiches be hitting.
Yeah.
Today's question comes from NOS subscriber L. Thomas J. L. Thomas J. asks, have any of your dark horse choices changed?
So I've been on Michael Jacobson the whole time. I'm still there. I'm not going to steal your guy. I like your guy would be. I think is second on the list right now. I'm sticking with Jacobson right now. What's he got going on?
How you know? I'm gonna say how you know Jacobson isn't my guy.
You better. I thought you were Mr. Miller Bradford. Fan club.
I rock with everybody, man. I'm an equal opportunity cat. But I talked to Jacobson today, and he was saying how he was dealing with some stuff. Like, he had some type of like viral infection that he got from like a coach or something like that. And he said he's been dealing with it off and on. And so I asked him, like, hey, man, did the heat get you yesterday while you rolled out of practice early? He was like, it's just been something I've been dealing with since last week. And yesterday, like, all my fingertips and it was just a lot that was happening. He had showed me his hand, and he still had like bumps on. I don't know what the official medical term is, but he had described it as hand, foot, and mouth. So that's what he has going on. So I think he's on the other side of it because he practiced all day today.
Yep.
Those are two guys who've emerged in the. You were on Jacobson starting with rookie minicamp, but I mean, if this question means since we've seen them on the field has it changed? He wasn't necessarily on our radar, but yeah, he's a guy who's absolutely had a spring that's putting him on the radar. Millard Bradford too. Those are probably the two guys. Another guy that falls into that category for me is Anthony Orji. He was my dark horse pick last year, and he made the practice squad. Was on the practice squad. He's making plays a lot at linebacker. The only problem is linebacker has turned into exactly what we're talking about at receiver. Linebacker looked like one of their thinnest positions a couple months ago, and then they signed Willie Gay Jr., one of their top free agent signings. Then they signed Kalika Hudson, another really experienced guy. Then they draft Jalen Ford and round 5. And I think DeMarco Jackson has done a lot of nice things. So all of a sudden, linebacker becomes a really tough place to fit. But Anthony Orji every day is standing out to me. So he's a guy who I think has had a good spring.
We're not gonna mention the guy that's making the team, Holker.
Well, sorry, that's the other names I have in here. Is have any of your dark horse pick change? Dallin Holker was my number one.
He's
right after the draft, and he has done nothing to change that.
He's making the team. He's on my 53.
Yeah,
he's making the team.
Yeah, you can put it. He's
in my 53 and like. Not pen, but like really strongly applied pencil right now. But
you're
he's
right.
on the team.
Right. He was. We all saw their undrafted free agent list. All of us here, I think, all of the fans, anyone who watched college football, anyone who looked at the Saints tight end roster, all said, "Well, Dallin Holker's making the team." They gave him more money than anyone else. But you're absolutely right. He's done nothing in practices to lose that number one pole position spot. He plays with the ones a lot. They're constantly throwing to him. Is he leading the team in catches, do you think, in the spring? Like
he's had a lot.
Close,
Jacobson might be if it's not him.
Holker, the only like if he wasn't so small, like he would have been a high draft pick. Like his skill set shows it, but he's I don't know, he's small. They got another guy coming in tomorrow to work out, UFL guy.
Tweeted about him
played
earlier.
at Auburn. Was led the league in touchdown receptions with 6 in yardage.
Led the XFL?
The UFL?
UFL.
Just
played for the Renegades. I don't know why his name is escaping me right now. Give me 1 second.
It's Sal?
Yeah, Sal Capanella? Sal Canella. Yeah, he's working out tomorrow. They're down on tight ends. Jacobson has this thing going on. Juwan Johnson's injured, so
Tommy Hudson's been hurt.
Yeah, Tommy Hudson's been out.
Here's an interesting question. So I also agree that I haven't done my 53 yet. I think I'm going to put Dallin Holker on it. And that leaves an interesting question about Michael Jacobson. But we've seen Holker line up at fullback a little, and he has the size of almost a hybrid fullback tight end. We've seen Taysom Hill line up at fullback and tight end. If Holker and Taysom Hill are both on the team, is there still room for a fullback? In addition to both of them?
I think there's going to be a fullback on the team. Yeah,
and Holker and Taysom aren't filling that role? And Colin Saunders?
Maybe, but yeah. Yeah, maybe. It's possible. Yeah. The construction of the roster could work out like that. It's an interesting thought. I mean, Adam Prentice is getting early, like a lot of early snaps. I don't know if they go all the way away from it, but I mean,
Taysom's been lining up at fullback a lot too.
It's definitely possible. I don't know. I don't know how far they're going with Taysom. So, yeah,
exactly. I don't know if they know yet. One other guy that hasn't changed my opinion, but has stayed on my radar. Kyle Hergel is undrafted rookie guard that they signed after the draft. And one thing that stood out to me was I think he was at Boston College, and he was playing for the Dolphins' former offensive line coach who had worked under Mike McDaniel. So they were already running this system. And he has been a mainstay with the twos. It's been 4 veterans and him every day with the twos. Now, we haven't seen Oli Udoh in. Maybe he's the guy that gets bumped when Oli Udoh comes back. But so far, he has elevated himself among the other guys by getting nothing but second-team snaps. So Kyle Hergel's another name that's on the watch list for me.
Another thing about a young guy, I talked to Jalen Ford today. He's coming back from his was it a sports hernia or something like that? His injury. I got a chance to talk to him, and he was saying, like, now that he's here, he's trying to stick to Demario Davis's hip and learn anything he can because he's just, Demario's been around for so long, and whatever he could pick up, he's willing to learn, and he's trying to learn. So that'll do it for this episode of NewOrleans.Football. For everybody who subscribed, keep it locked and stay in here for overtime. We're going to start hitting y'all questions. And if you're not, I mean, we've shown we're the football dudes. So keep it locked and subscribe to NewOrleans.Football.
See what you did
Catch
there.
you next time.
That was good.